Oprah secretly helps a struggling single mom, but the news unexpectedly goes viral and she suffers backlash. It was a bitterly cold evening in Chicago, the kind that made every breath visible in the air. Vanessa Carter, a 32-year-old single mother of two, shuffled through the automatic doors of Pine Grove Market. Her worn-out coat pulled tightly around her. She had exactly $32.76 in her bank account, barely enough for groceries. Her son, Malik, 7 years old, clutched her hand while her 3-year-old daughter, Imani, squirmed in the shopping cart. They had already eaten their last slices of bread that morning, and she knew she had to make this trip count. As she navigated the aisles, mentally tallying up costs, she didn't notice the elegantly dressed woman standing near the cereal section. Oprah Winfrey, disguised in an elegant coat and beanie, was shopping alone, a rare occurrence. Vanessa reached for the cheapest box of store-brand cereal just as Oprah did the same. Their hands brushed. "Oh, I'm sorry," Vanessa murmured. "No worries," Oprah said with a warm smile. Her voice was instantly recognizable. Vanessa gasped. "Oh my God. You're..." "Shh," Oprah winked playfully. "Just Oprah doing her own shopping today." Vanessa's eyes welled up with tears. I grew up watching you. My mom loved you. You're such an inspiration." Oprah studied her, noticing the fatigue in her eyes. "What's your name?" "Vanessa." They began talking, and Oprah, always keen on personal stories, asked about her life. Vanessa hesitated before opening up. She shared how she had worked 2 jobs after her husband abandoned them, how she dreamed of becoming a chef. But life had crushed those dreams. Now she worked as a janitor at a local school, barely making ends meet. Oprah listened intently, her heart stirring. Before they parted, she touched Vanessa's arm. "I believe in you," she said, her voice full of meaning. Vanessa nodded, holding back tears. She had no idea that those words and this encounter were about to change everything. That night, Oprah couldn't shake the conversation from her mind. She had spent decades uplifting people, but something about Vanessa haunted her. She called her team. "I want to help her quietly, no cameras, no media." The next morning, Vanessa woke up to a call from an unknown number. "Ms. Carter?" A woman's voice said. "I work with an anonymous donor who wishes to provide assistance for you and your family. May we meet?" Vanessa was skeptical. Was this a scam? But something told her to take a chance. When she arrived at the designated location, a cozy office in downtown Chicago, she was greeted by a lawyer and a financial advisor. "An anonymous benefactor has arranged for your debts to be cleared," the lawyer explained. Vanessa's mouth fell open. "What?" "In addition, your rent will be paid for the next 2 years, and you've been enrolled in culinary school, full scholarship." Tears streamed down her face. Who is behind this?" "I'm afraid they wish to remain anonymous," the financial advisor said with a smile. Vanessa was in shock. She left the office in a daze, overwhelmed with gratitude and disbelief. She had a second chance, and she had no idea that the world would soon find out about it. A week later, Janelle Rivers, a sharp-eyed journalist at Chicago Daily Post, got a tip from an insider at the charity organization that had handled Vanessa's case. "You need to look into this," her source whispered. "There's a huge story here." Janelle began digging. She tracked down Vanessa, who hesitated to talk. "I don't know anything," she said. But the pieces started coming together. Oprah had been spotted at Pine Grove Market that same night, and Oprah had a history of secret acts of kindness. Janelle published the story. Oprah secretly helped struggling single mom, the story that will warm your heart. Within hours, it went viral. News outlets picked it up. Social media exploded. Hashtags like Oprah's gift and Vanessa's second chance trended worldwide. Vanessa's phone wouldn't stop ringing. Strangers praised her, people offered more help, and TV shows invited her for interviews. And then the backlash began. Not everyone saw the story as inspiring. Critics accused Vanessa of seeking handouts. Conspiracy theorists claimed it was a publicity stunt. Some dug into her past, finding out that she had once been arrested for shoplifting as a teenager. "I never asked for any of this," Vanessa whispered to her friend Tasha, her hands shaking. Worse, an estranged family member, her bitter, older cousin, sold a false story to the tabloids, claiming Vanessa was ungrateful and manipulative. The media frenzy became overwhelming. And then Vanessa got an unexpected call. "Vanessa, it's Oprah." Her breath caught. "Would you like to talk?" Oprah invited Vanessa to a private lunch. No cameras, just two women talking. "You don't deserve this negativity," Oprah said gently. "But the world is like that. You have to stand in your truth." Tears filled Vanessa's eyes. "I just wanted a chance. I don't want to be famous. I just want to provide for my kids." Oprah reached across the table. "And you will." The next day, Oprah released a personal statement confirming her involvement. "I didn't do this for attention. I did it because Vanessa deserves a chance, just like I once did." The backlash melted away. And Vanessa, she graduated culinary school. She opened a small restaurant called Imani's Table, named after her daughter. A year later, Oprah walked in unannounced. Vanessa froze. "You came." Oprah smiled. "I wouldn't miss it." And as she took her first bite of Vanessa's special dish, fried plantains with honey glaze, she knew Vanessa's story was only just beginning. Vanessa stood behind the counter of her small but thriving restaurant, Imani's Table, wiping her hands on her apron. The place smelled of warm spices, slow-cooked meats, and the subtle sweetness of fried plantains. Her restaurant had started as a humble food stand in a local Chicago market. But thanks to Oprah's silent backing and the support of the community, it had blossomed into a full-fledged eatery. Her son Malik, now 8, sat at the back doing his homework, while little Imani, 4, played with her doll on a chair. Vanessa took a deep breath. Life was good, but she knew success came with challenges. Despite the fairy tale nature of her rise, Vanessa faced hidden struggles. Running a business was expensive. Even with Oprah's help, rent, ingredients, and staff salaries piled up. She barely broke even some months. To make matters worse, some people still saw her as a charity case. Customers whispered and critics wrote articles. Would she have made it without Oprah? The bigger she grew, the more afraid she became. What if she failed? What if people stopped coming? What if she let down Oprah? One night, as she closed up, she sat on a stool, exhausted. She stared at the framed picture of her mother on the wall. "Mama, am I really meant for this?" Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She hesitated, then answered. "Vanessa Carter?" A deep voice asked. "Yes? This is Marlon Pierce. I'm a restaurant investor. I've been following your journey. And I believe Imani's Table has the potential to be something bigger. Would you be open to discussing expansion?" Her heart pounded. Expansion? She wasn't sure if she was ready. But she was about to find out. Vanessa met with Marlon Pierce, a sharp businessman with salt and pepper hair and piercing brown eyes. He had invested in some of Chicago's most successful restaurants. "I see something special in your food, Vanessa," he said over coffee. "I want to help you expand. A second location, bigger reach. Investors would line up to work with you." Vanessa's mind raced. I don't have that kind of money," she admitted. Marlon leaned forward. "You wouldn't need to. I'll provide funding. In return, I'd own 51% of the business." Vanessa's stomach tightened. That meant he would have majority control. Her best friend Tasha was furious when she told her. "Girl, no. That man will take your restaurant and turn it into something corporate. You'll lose your voice." "But what if this is my shot?" Vanessa asked. Tasha folded her arms. "Oprah helped you because she believed in you. Not some businessman who just sees dollar signs." Vanessa was torn. Then she got another call, this time from Oprah herself. Vanessa hadn't spoken to Oprah in months, so the call surprised her. "I heard about the offer," Oprah said warmly. "How do you feel?" "I don't know," Vanessa admitted. "It's a chance to grow, but I'm scared." Oprah chuckled. "You remind me of myself years ago. I had offers from TV networks to own my show, but not control it. I said no, best decision I ever made." Vanessa sighed. "So, you think I should turn it down?" Oprah paused. "I think you should ask yourself, do you want to be big or do you want to be great?" The question sat heavy on Vanessa's chest. She had a decision to make. That night she dreamed of her mother. Her mother, Miss Cheryl, had been a cook at a small soul food joint before she passed away. In the dream, she stood in the kitchen, stirring a pot of gumbo, smiling. "Baby," her mother said, "you remember what I told you?" Vanessa nodded. "Never let anyone season your pot but you." She woke up heart pounding. She knew what she had to do. The next morning, she called Marlon Pierce. "I appreciate the offer," she said firmly, "but I'm keeping Imani's table mine." He sighed. "You're making a mistake." "No," Vanessa said. "I'm making a choice." And she never looked back. Without investors, Vanessa had to get creative. She turned to the community, partnered with local farmers for fresh ingredients at lower costs. She also started a cooking class for single moms, charging a small fee to support the business and leverage social media, creating videos about her journey. Soon, Imani's Table wasn't just a restaurant. It was a movement. And then, one day, she got an email from the Food Network. The Food Network wanted to feature Imani's Table on a show about rising culinary stars. Vanessa was hesitant. She had seen how TV could exploit people. But Oprah gave her one last piece of advice. "Tell your own story before someone else does." Vanessa agreed. The episode aired. America fell in love with her story. Her restaurant boomed. She opened a second location on her own terms. And the best part, she never forgot her roots. She still worked in the kitchen. She still picked up Malik and Imani from school. And she still remembered the woman who had once struggled in a grocery store with 3276 to her name. One night after closing up, she found a handwritten letter slipped under the restaurant door. It was from Oprah. It read, "I always believed in you, and now I hope you believe in yourself." Vanessa smiled. She did, and she always would. Years later, Imani's Table had locations all over the country. Vanessa had become a celebrity chef, author, and mentor to young women. But one thing remained unchanged. She never forgot where she came from. And every year, on the anniversary of the day she met Oprah in that grocery store, she went back, and she paid for someone's groceries. Just as Oprah had once secretly done for her, because kindness once given always finds a way to come full circle. 2 years after the Food Network feature, Imani's Table had expanded to 4 locations, each one a proof of Vanessa's perseverance. The original location in Chicago remained her heart and soul. But now there was a bustling restaurant in Atlanta, another in Houston, and a newly opened branch in Los Angeles. She had become a household name. Yet she still started every morning in her chef's coat, cooking alongside her team. One day, Vanessa sat in her office staring at her laptop screen. The headlines screamed at her. "Ex-employee claims Vanessa Carter is fake as she changed too much." The article quoted a woman named Denise Morrow, who had worked as a server at the original Imani's Table. She was all about community at first, Denise had told a reporter. But now, she's out here opening fancy locations and dining with celebrities. She doesn't care about regular people anymore. The words stung. Was it true? Had she changed? Tasha stormed into her office, slamming her phone on the desk. "This is trash!" she fumed. "That girl got fired because she stole from the register. And now she wants to play the victim." Vanessa exhaled slowly. "The public doesn't know that." "So tell them!" Vanessa shook her head. "That's not my style." Instead of defending herself publicly, she did what she knew best. She got to work. Determined to prove Denise wrong, not for the press, but for herself, Vanessa launched a new initiative, Tables of Hope, a program where single mothers could dine at Imani's Table for free once a week. The initiative gained national attention. TV hosts praised her. Oprah even tweeted, "When they question your heart, let your actions answer. These are tables of hope." And as always, kindness found a way to come full circle. One night, a young waitress named Maria Lopez approached Vanessa in the kitchen. "Chef Carter," she said shyly. Vanessa smiled. "What's up, Maria?" I wanted to say thank you. My mom was one of the women who got free meals through Tables of Hope." Vanessa froze. "She used to struggle," Maria continued. "Now she's doing better. And because of you, I got my first job here." Vanessa's throat tightened. This was why she did what she did. For years, Vanessa had focused on business and motherhood, leaving romance behind. But love had a way of showing up when least expected. One evening, after closing up, she sat in her office, exhausted. A knock sounded on the door. "Come in," she called. The door opened. Standing there was Andre Wallace, an old friend from high school. He had been her first crush, the boy she had always thought of but never reconnected with. She blinked. "Andre?" He chuckled. "Hey, Ness?" Her heart skipped. Andre had become a successful restaurant consultant. He had followed her story for years, but never reached out until now. "I'm in town for work," he said. "And I had to stop by to see the legend in person." Vanessa laughed. "Legend, please." They talked for hours, catching up on old memories, lost time and dreams they once had. Before he left, he hesitated. "I'd love to see you again," he said. No business talk, just two old friends. Vanessa hesitated. Love had betrayed her before, but something about Andre felt safe. She smiled. "I'd like that." By year 4, Imani's table wasn't just a restaurant, it was a symbol of hope. Single mothers now had a support network. Young chefs got mentorship. Communities rallied behind her. One day, as Vanessa walked through the original Chicago location, a familiar figure sat at a corner table. Oprah, alone sipping tea. Vanessa grinned. "Back for more plantains?" Oprah chuckled. "Always." They talked about the journey, how a chance meeting in a grocery store had led to this. Vanessa grew emotional. "I don't think I could have done any of this without you." Oprah reached across the table and held her hand. "Yes, you could have," she said softly. "You just needed someone to remind you of who you are." Tears welled in Vanessa's eyes. She had gone from a struggling single mother with 3276 to a national icon of resilience. But at her core, she was still Vanessa Carter, the girl who just wanted to cook, provide for her kids and make a difference. And she had done just that. 5 years after opening her first restaurant, Vanessa did something special. She walked into Pine Grove Market, the same grocery store, where she had once met Oprah. She picked a random woman, a single mother, just like she had been. She paid for her groceries. And when the woman's eyes filled with tears, Vanessa simply smiled and said, "I believe in you." Just as Oprah had once said to her, "Because kindness never dies, it only multiplies." Thank you for watching till the end. If you were inspired by this story, do well to reflect deeper on it. Be kind to share this story out to someone who might be going through some challenges. Kindly join our community by hitting the subscribe button for more inspiring and uplifting stories. God bless you.